hip-hop started as a movement to uplift people and to give oppressed people a voice. And today, it's giving people a voice, but they're not really saying anything.
Hip-hop as an MC, it's not like what it used to be, you know? People don't really speak what's on their mind. It's more like what they have. That's not really relating to the crowd. And when you're an MC, you need to move the crowd. Not a lot of people are doing that these days.
Nobody really had a definition for it until recently, and even I think the definition doesn't even stand very well. Hip-hop is really everything that is you in its honest form.
Back in the 80s, hip-hop was all about like a revolution. I mean, they were still talking about like gangs and stuff and like guns, but like they were, back then it's like they were telling people like be aware of what's around you. Don't do it, just be aware that this is happening.
One of the things that happens is oftentimes when art gets mixed with commerce, it becomes less art and more of something else. So we see this commercialized hip-hop, which doesn't really have that same essence, but the true essence of hip-hop still exists. It's just not as commercial because people can't sell, positivity as well as you can sell negativity. You just have to look for where the real hip-hop is and where this commercialized other thing is and make a clear distinction between the two.
Understanding the roots of where this culture came from is understanding that it was always a positive movement.
They didn't have much, so they turned to hip-hop to make a difference for themselves. And for some of them, they turned to b-boying, graffiti, DJing, or MCing just to stay away from gangs and violence. Just because there's violence around you and a bunch of negativity doesn't mean that there isn't hope for you.
Because the positivity is still there. The Talib Kwalis are still there. The Nas's are still there. The Lupes and the Commons are still there. And they've always been there. We don't need music to change. We need to change. Music isn't a living thing. Music is not going to change. The people need to change. We're behind the music, you know what I'm saying? So we need to change. And we need to look for that positivity. It's always been there. It's still there.